Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. I can officially say welcome back now because I have more than one video up. But for those of you who are here for the first time, I give you a simple welcome. You can have welcome back privileges once you watch the third video, whenever that comes out. So, as I'm sure we're all aware of by now, currently it is October. And you know what that means. So, in the spirit of this very beloved time of year, I thought that for this video, I would make a Halloween outfit. And when I say Halloween outfit, I'm going for the more kind of casual, less costumey and gimmicky side of Halloween outfits. Not that there's anything wrong with costumey or gimmicky at all, but I want this to be something that you can wear kind of like day to day throughout the Halloween season, just for that extra little like spooky touch to your wardrobe. I think that my target vibe is something that like Marceline from Adventure Time would wear on a hot date with Princess Bubblegum, and then Princess Bubblegum would be wearing the cottagecore dress that I made in the last video. You get the point. So if you want to find out how to make this super cool, spooky vibes, Halloween, goth girl, vampire queen outfit, then just keep watching. Let's begin.
So the final design that I came up with is a two-piece set consisting of a tie front, bell sleeve top made of sheer fabric that can be worn over another article of clothing like a crop top, and a mini skirt with an overlay of matching sheer fabric and an opaque lining fabric underneath. I also want to try and add a bat wing type detailing to the edges of the skirt and sleeves to really up that spooky factor. I bought a really cute sheer mesh fabric with glittery bats on it that I think will work really well with this look.
It's here. Very excited because my bat fabric just came in, and look at it. I really like the way that the fabric feels, and just like the texture of the bats. Look, they're kind of like velvety and glittery. It's so cute. So yes, very excited to be working with this.
The materials you'll need for this project are 2 yards of black patterned mesh fabric, a half yard of dark gray opaque fabric for your skirt lining, a 12-inch black invisible zipper, and black hem facing, also called bias tape.
Welcome to my floor. I'm about to start cutting the pattern pieces for my top using this handy dandy kit that my dear friends have generously gifted me. So this kit has patterns for several different types of sleeves. I think that I'm going to go with this one because it most closely resembles the look that I'm going for, and I believe it also contains a bodice piece, which I'm going to use as a reference for the body part of my top and maybe modify along the way if necessary. So let's get started.
Something I want to add is that if you don't have any patterns on hand, you can totally use the clothes in your closet to draft the shape of your pieces. I'd recommend trying to find non-stretchy or only minimally stretchy articles of clothing that fit you well and look similar to what you want to make. You can then trace the parts you need onto paper or even directly onto your fabric, and then modify the shape as needed.
Okay, so I finally have all of my pieces cut out. Some things that I'm going to change are that the sleeve that I have has two different looking sides, like this one's more curvy and that one is more like a right angle, because this one includes some weird like decorative folding details that I don't want to put. So I'm just going to like fold it and then cut it along here so that they're symmetrical on both sides. And as for the back bodice piece, looks pretty normal, so I'm just going to go with it as is. I'm not really sure if I'm gonna have to change anything, but I will figure it out once I cut everything out and try everything on. And as for the front bodice piece, I've decided that I'm not going to use it because they leave extra room here for dart placement, which I'm not going to be putting darts in my top, so it won't really apply to my project. So what I'm going to do instead is use this tie front top that I already own as a template for my front bodice piece, and then I'm just going to use this armhole here as a guideline for when I have to attach the sleeves to the body later. So now I'm going to start laying out my fabric and pinning these pattern pieces on and just cutting everything out. So here is the finished pattern piece for my front bodice. It kind of looks like the shape of like one of those Midwestern states that nobody ever remembers what its name is. But yeah, I've kind of elongated this end out there for the tie part. I hope that that's going to be the right shape. And this is like kind of a sloping angle because of the V-neck. So next we're going to cut everything out, pin all the pieces together, and then I will try them on and see how that goes. Okay, so first try on here. Yes, I only attached one arm because I was too lazy to do the other. Also, I'm doing this this pose because there is a lot of pins going on around here and I do not want to stab my armpit to death. But anyways, I think that we got the overall shape of the pattern pieces pretty much good. This whole V-neck worked out pretty well and the ties are nice and the sleeve has a very good level of bellness to it, which I'm pleased with. So we can start sewing everything together.
After all of the bodice pieces are cut out, the first thing I'm going to do is pin the front and back bodice pieces right sides together along the side edge, as well as the shoulder, and then attach them together using a straight seam. So once all of the bodice pieces are sewn together, I'm going to trim off the raw edges on the inside of the seams and then finish them off with an overcast stitch using my new overcasting foot. This is all optional and just makes the edges look clean and more professional. If you don't have an overcasting foot, you can just use your regular sewing foot with a zigzag stitch. Next, I'm going to take my sleeve and fold it together hot dog style, right sides touching, and then pin all the way down the edges. Then I'm going to sew the two sides together so that they can form a tube, and then trim off the excess fabric and overcast stitch over the edge. Next, I'm going to attach the sleeves to the main bodice piece. I flip the bodice inside out and I'm matching its shoulder hole to the top hole of the sleeve so that their right sides are touching, then pinning the 2 layers of fabric together and sewing all the way around the hole. I hemmed the raw edges around the perimeter of the shirt by folding the edge of the fabric over 2 times and then sewing across that fold all the way around the shirt. Here's how it looks when it's done. I also ended up using this method to finish off my sleeves. I attempted the batwing edges, but they turned out really bad, so I had to trim them all off and just do a regular hem instead.
Skirt time! So now I'm going to start cutting my skirt pieces out using this past project as a template. So our skirt is going to consist of 3 sets of 2 pieces, so 6 pieces in total. And the 3 pieces are going to be, one is just the front, which is just one big outline, and then the other 2 are going to be basically the 2 halves of that same front piece, but each side is going to be elongated to account for putting in darts and also a zipper. And we're going to have 2 sets of these because one is going to be on our mesh fabric and then the other one is going to be on our dark gray lining. So let's get started.
To start off, I'm hemming the bottom edges of each of my 3 skirt lining pieces. Even though I'm going to hem each piece individually, I just pinned the sides together so that I could make sure that they would all be done evenly.
Okay, so now that we've got all the lining hemmed up like so, I've laid out the mesh pieces on top of the lining pieces like this. Both are right sides up, and I am going to just sew around the sides for each of them and then sew them all together to form a skirt.
Okay, so I didn't actually sew the lining and mesh of each skirt panel together individually. I just repinned the 2 panels together and then sewed down all 4 layers of fabric in one go.
Okay, so basically the way we're going to attach this facing to the skirt is that we're going to place the right sides together and basically sew right along that line we drew earlier of where the waistband is going to be. So I'll show you if I pin it here like this as if I was going to attach them together. Once you sew everything together and then flip this so it's on the inside of the skirt and then iron it down, then you have a nice flat seam here and your whole waist edge of your skirt is all finished off, and then this is tucked into the inside. So let's do that. So here's how it's going to look after it's finished. I just finish off the edges here using the overcast stitch, and then all of that gets folded in and ironed down. And so now this is the only thing you're going to see from the outside of the skirt. Hello. So basically what I've done already is I have installed my invisible zipper and also finished the back part of my skirt off camera. And what I want to do next is put in darts so that the skirt can fit me around the waist, because right now it only fits me around my hips. And so let me just show you how I've done that so far. So I want to place my darts on either side of my invisible zipper in the back of the skirt. And as you can see here, I've already kind of measured the general height and width of what I want my dart to look like. And I've just marked that down on one side. So now what I'm gonna do is take that one dart I've made and then replicate it on the other side of the skirt, and then flip everything to the inside so that you can't see it from the outside. And then just sew a straight line down that mark that I've made right here. So here I've traced the shape out of the first dart I made, and then I also recreated it on the other side. So now I'm going to pin them inside the skirt like this. Okay, yeah, please just ignore how nasty the back part looks right now, but I've pinned down all of my darts right here, as you can see. So basically next I'm just going to sew down each of those lines, and then I am going to hem the bottom mesh part up, and then this skirt will be done.
And shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, will seal your doom tonight. Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, will seal your doom tonight. We're so sorry, skeletons, you're so misunderstood.
With that, our spooky little journey has come to an end. I had a lot of fun making this project, and I'm very happy with the end result. I think my only thing with this outfit is that I really wish that I would have made the sleeves longer and more dramatic. I think the fact that I totally messed up the batwing detailing and had to trim them down definitely was not ideal. But if that was not a circumstance that I had to deal with and I was more knowledgeable beforehand, then I definitely would have used a lot more fabric right here and made it slope down, so this would be huge and swishy and all over the place. What do you guys think? Is this a banging casual Halloween outfit that you could wear to a spooky function? Could you envision yourself casting a spell or two while wearing this? If you were a gay cartoon vampire, would you wear this on a date with your girlfriend? Yes? No? Thoughts? Opinions? Leave them in the comments. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, you can leave a like. If you have any thoughts, you can leave a comment. And if you want to see more, you can totally subscribe. And if you don't want to do any of those, totally fine. I won't be mad at you, but I will put a curse on you and you will pee your pants on the next full moon. Just a friendly warning. And that concludes our video. I hope to see you here again soon, but until then, stay spooky. Happy Halloween!
We're so sorry, skeletons, you're so